I was first introduced to mission trips by friends. I was in a small group, and I still am, with people that I adore, and they all went on mission trips. They would come back with stories just about God sightings and just how it had changed them, and they just came back different people, and it really seemed like something I should do, that I wanted to do, but I had no idea how God would use me. The two that prodded me to go, one didn't end up going anyway, so I was like, okay, great, you were going to hold my hand on this trip, now I'm flying solo. So, and we weren't going to Mexico anymore either. I signed up for Mexico, and 2 weeks after giving my down payment, I guess they decided we weren't going to Mexico, that we were going to Texas. So kind of got a little attitude, and I was like, I don't want to go to Texas, I want to go to Mexico. At which point my son, who's sometimes a little bit more wise than I am, reminded me that don't people in the United States need help too? So I was a little humbled, and I also was the one at life groups who had said that why are you going to, why are you going to Mexico? Can't you do that in the United States? When we walked up to our site the first day, I can't even describe how bad the situation was. These people it was a family of 8, and they were living in one room in fly infested, no indoor plumbing. The smell was atrocious, and I couldn't believe that I was in the United States. So here I am on this mission trip in Texas, graphic designer, which I wasn't quite sure what those skills were going to apply to. If you want me to make your logo or take a picture, I can do that. I can't hammer, can't nail. There's not a lot of other stuff that I can do, and wasn't sure really how God was going to use me once I got there. We were watching all the children come out of the house, and there was one child after another, and this little baby crawled out, couldn't have been more than a year old, and Peyton said, "Oh my gosh, look at his hand." And we all looked down, and here's this baby, has this huge gaping hole in his hand, just infected, and flies were all over it, and it was awful. It was hard to even look at. And right away, Peyton and one of the other kids went over and got the first aid kit and started bandaging the child's hand and cleaning it out. And I picked up my camera and I took a picture of the hand. And it just seemed from that one picture, that was how the rest of the trip, the rest of the day, the week went. Every time I turned around, there was another hand to take a picture of. And the hands were doing so many different things. There was a hand that was nailing, there was a hand that was cooking, there was a hand that was loving, and everybody that was there, this ragtag group of people that were kids and adults and related and not related, every hand had something that they could do. And it was amazing to me that even if the hand didn't know what to do before it got there, that was Jesus' hand that was working through those people, and they were able to accomplish things that I didn't think that I could do. But to watch the healing that happened in that family, the growth that happened to them while we were there was unbelievable. But to watch the growth that happened to the people on the trip, people did things that they didn't know that they could do, and that I didn't know that I could do. So through the trip, I took pictures of hands the entire time. I got to be known as the hands lady. Every time I watch the video and every time I look at the pictures, it just reminds me that we are the hands of Jesus, that this is what, and if it's not your hands, maybe it's your voice or your mind or whatever it is, the gift that God's given you that you can use. So every hand has a purpose, and that's what it's about. And it can be in Mexico, it can be in Texas, or it can be in Peachtree City. As a graphic designer, I was asked by Mike Conway to do a logo for something called S Squared, which I was like, what is S Squared and what am I supposed to do with this? I was like, okay, Mike, I'll get back to you. So I went on the mission trip having no idea what I was going to do with this logo, but after being there and suddenly becoming the hands lady, I realized maybe that's why I was there. Maybe I needed an idea, and it was coming from my mission trip. What S Squared is service and service. So it is And service to me was using your hands.